The planet Kryos VII was a beautiful, desolate world of endless ice. Its skies glistened with shattered auroras, dancing like ethereal ribbons above frozen plains that stretched to eternity. Snowstorms howled through the jagged valleys, and even the bravest explorers from Earth knew this place as a death trap. No human settlement survived here, only transient outposts and stubborn research stations clinging to life. For Leah Carter, a mechanic and part-time survivalist, Cryo VII was just another job. Assigned to Station Delta 9, she spent her days repairing heating systems and keeping their archaic drilling rigs functional. When a call crackled through the base comms about a nearby meteorite impact, Leah grabbed her snow gear. "Meteorite cleanup duty," she sighed. "Always me." She found the wreckage not of a meteorite, but of a ship. The alien vessel was sleek and pearlescent, half buried in a crater of melted ice that had already begun to freeze over. It had no markings, no banners of empire or flags of war. Yet what truly stunned Leah wasn't the ship itself. It was what lay just outside. A woman, or something like one. The figure was fragile and ethereal, with skin that shimmered faintly like moonlight on water. She was adorned in thin, tattered fabrics ill-suited for Kryos VI's merciless cold, her silver-white hair whipping in the freezing wind. Her beauty was haunting, otherworldly, being sculpted from dreams. But her delicate form lay crumpled on the ice, unmoving. The snow around her was slowly burying her alive. "Hey! Hey!" Leah rushed forward, slipping as her boots crunched through brittle ice. Kneeling beside the alien, she found her skin was as cold as death itself. Her chest rose and fell faintly, alive but barely. "This is insane," Leah muttered, heart racing. She unzipped her thermal coat and wrapped it around the alien. "You better be worth the frostbite." Lifting her was like carrying glass. The alien woman weighed nearly nothing. Leah hauled her back to the SnowRunner and cranked the engine. Hours later, back at Station Delta 9, the heating units hummed loudly in the cramped survival shelter. Leah had laid the alien woman on a cot near the furnace, surrounded by every thermal blanket she could find. Her shivering had stopped, but she remained unconscious. Leah sat on a crate across the room, staring at her. She couldn't believe it. A real alien, right here in her little station. Humanity had made contact with alien life before, but this was different. This wasn't some diplomat or conqueror. This was someone lost, vulnerable. "Who are you?" Leah whispered to herself. A soft sound pulled her from her thoughts. The alien's eyelids fluttered, and she opened her eyes, deep pools of violet light, as though the stars themselves had been caught there. She looked around in confusion before settling her gaze on Leah. Her lips moved faintly. "Kyle." It wasn't quite a word, more like a vibration Leah felt in her chest. "Whoa, whoa. Easy there," Leah said, raising her hands in a gesture of peace. "You're safe. I found you outside. Almost didn't make it." The alien blinked slowly. Her expression shifted, a flicker of recognition. She touched her chest weakly, then gestured toward Leah with trembling fingers. Her voice came again, soft and melodic. This time, it felt as though it translated itself in Leah's mind. "You are warmth." Leah chuckled awkwardly, scratching her head. "Yeah, well, it's freezing out there. You're lucky I didn't leave you as a popsicle." The alien smiled faintly, the smallest upward curve of her lips. It was like watching dawn break over a frozen field. Over the following days, Leah cared for her guest. The alien was weak, her body struggling to recover. She introduced herself, through thoughts more than words, as Erin, a traveler who'd been stranded after her ship malfunctioned mid-flight. Her people were wanderers, exploring galaxies with little regard for time or borders. But Leah noticed something strange. The cold didn't just harm Erin, it devoured her. Her kind were beings of warmth and light, tied to heat as humans were to air. Kryos VII had drained her life force, leaving her helpless. "I can't leave," Erin explained one evening as she huddled near the station's core furnace. "Not without warmth to sustain me. My ship is broken beyond repair." Leah frowned, staring at the frost-covered windows. Outside, the storms raged on. "Then we'll find another way." Erin tilted her head. "Why help me?" Leah shrugged. "You look like you needed it. Besides, no one deserves to die out there alone." For the first time, Erin's light-filled eyes softened. "Humans are curious. You feel warmth not only in body, but in heart." Leah smiled faintly. Don't tell the rest of the galaxy. I've got a reputation to keep." Time was running out. The station's rations and fuel reserves were dwindling. A rescue ship was weeks away, far too long for Erin to survive. Her light dimmed by the day, flickering like a dying star. Leah refused to let her slip away. "I'll take you to the geothermal fissure," Leah said suddenly one morning. Erin frowned, weak but alert. "The fissure?" Leah nodded. "It's risky, but there's heat there, enough to give you strength." The fissure was a volcanic anomaly 20 kilometers away, where geothermal vents spewed steam and molten warmth from the planet's core. It was deadly to humans, but to Erin, it might save you. Erin hesitated, but the light in her eyes brightened. "Then we go." The journey was brutal. Leah piloted the SnowRunner through whiteout conditions, visibility near zero. Ice storms battered the vehicle. At one point, the engine froze, forcing Leah to fix it with shaking, frostbitten hands. Erin held her gloved hand afterward, her touch sending waves of warmth through Leah's body. "Do not lose yourself," she whispered softly. Finally, they arrived. The fissure was a crack in the earth, glowing with molten red fire. The air shimmered with heat so intense that Leah had to back away, sweat pouring down her face even in the frigid air. Erin stepped forward, her body already growing brighter. She turned back to Leah, her expression unreadable. "You saved me," she said softly. "I will not forget." Leah grinned, leaning on her knees, breathless. Let's call it even." Erin smiled, fully this time, radiant and beautiful. Her body glowed like a rising sun, light spilling out to push back the darkness. As Leah shielded her eyes, Erin rose into the air, her form dissolving into waves of shimmering energy. And just like that, she was gone. Weeks later, Leah sat at Station Delta 9, staring at the endless storms outside. No one believed her story. They thought she'd hallucinated in the cold. But every now and then, when the auroras danced above the ice, Leah swore she saw a flicker of violet light, a warmth she could feel deep in her bones. Somewhere out there, Erin was alive, and Leah knew she would always remember the human who gave her warmth in the frozen wilderness.